Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to tonight's main event, the Eating Leather Podcast, sanctioned by the Sports Narrative Network. Let's meet the combatants.
Fighting out of the red corner, weighing in at 198 pounds, the pride of Fort Worth, Texas, Jeff El Jefe Bauer.
And in this corner, weighing in at 195 pounds, your host and cruiserweight champion of the world, Dynamite Darren Boyd.
Yes, and it is time for another episode of the Eating Leather Podcast. I am your host, Jeff Bowers. Thank you so much for joining us this fine evening as we have a very special guest, and in fact, a first for the Eating Leather Podcast, as we have not one, but two guests lined up for you in the same show, as we will, of course, join with our old friends, Wayne Pocket Rocket McCullough and Jamel Simplify Herring as we talk about his upcoming fight. But in the meantime, let's bring on the actual host of this little thing, a guy that we like to call Mr. Darren Boyd. Darren, how you doing, bud?
I'm still geeked up over the 10-hour boxing pay-per-view card in Saudi Arabia the other day, which produced some solid fights. And looking to see what's next for Joshua after that explosive, dynamic knockout.
Yeah, man, we will definitely talk a lot about that. We'll talk about some of the fights that have just gotten announced and all of that. But first, let's talk to our good friend, the greatest trainer in boxing going, a man getting ready to celebrate St. Patrick's Day like no other, Wayne Pocket Rocket McCullough. Wayne, how you doing, my man?
Thanks for the introduction. I like that. I'm doing good.
Hey, man, you're the champ, bro. You're the champ. Look at that. Look at that setup. Look at the behind him there. He's got the fighters. He's already in the ring.
In the ring.
Yeah, your wife does good staging.
Sweatshirt. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Pocket Rocket.
Yeah, I love it. Love it. So let's talk a little bit about the fight until we get Jamel joins us here in a little bit. Let's talk about what you've got lined up April 3rd down in Australia. And you know, how's training going? How's it been working with Jamel and all of that?
Well, as I said last time, he's a type of fighter that he doesn't question anything. If I tell him to do something, he does it. You know, in the ring, if he's sparring, if I yell, get your hand up, or throw a jab, or do this, he does it. So he's a pleasure to work with. He's willing to learn, even as a guy who's a former champion. He's willing to learn.
That's
and
amazing.
He's been doing that. His defense is tight now, and he's cracking really hard. And I really believe he'll be a champion again.
Oh yeah, absolutely, Darren.
Yeah, coming off of his explosive knockout of Molina, what was that like training and getting him back in the ring after the inactivity, and then you destroy a guy in one round, and now you got a little bit of layoff until April 3rd?
Well, the guy who fought Molina was a kid, 13 now, who, as coach, they told us afterwards they were expecting to win the fight. They looked at Jamel as if he's a sell-by date's gone, he's over the hill.
Oh wow!
But they couldn't realize
No.
they didn't realize the strength he had in the ring, and if you come back fighting an undefeated guy and get him out of there in the first round, and you break his nose and you break his rib within 3 minutes, you did something right.
Wow!
And nobody could question afterwards about his sharpness or anything, because we worked on that in the gym beforehand. We had 4 sparring partners, worked on getting his timing right, getting his speed right, his punch power, defense, and you seen that in the one round that he did. He had it all together again.
He definitely did not look like a 38-year-old fighter, that's for sure.
Well, that was the whole point. You just want to come back, and fighters have come back. You know, big George Foreman was in his 40s, then 45 when he won the heavyweight championship of the world again. So it just depends on what type of lifestyle you're leading. You could be in your mid-30s, you could be in your 40s, you could be in your late 20s. Fighters are done at certain times. And Jamel's the type of guy he's a Marine. He's disciplined. He's always in shape. He comes back to training camp 10 pounds overweight. That's it. That's nothing.
Wow.
So he's already in shape. He's already in shape before he comes to training camp. And if you can do that, you can have a longer career. And with the defense as well, when you start catching the shots or rolling them or slipping them, and not getting hit, you can prolong your career too.
Yeah, that helps. That usually helps quite a bit.
It does. It does.
Yes.
The less hits you take, the better
Now,
off
looking
you
ahead
are.
to England, he's 15-3. He's never been knocked out. I've only found a few fights of him on the YouTube to scout. Looks like he can't fight off his back foot from what I can analyze. But if you're allowed to reveal the scouting report, what do you all see for the scouting report on him?
No, England's is a young fighter. He's a bit like the guy he just fought last time, but he moves a lot more. You know, he does a lot of things good, but he also did a lot of things wrong.
Yeah.
And we've been working on the good things and the bad things. That's what coaches are supposed to do. They're supposed to pick the good things and the bad things, and then work on them in the ring every day. And we've been doing that for the last few weeks, and we'll continue to do that the next 3 weeks. So we're ready for him. Jamel's he sparred a couple of days this week and the last week. This week we're sparring 3 days, and then next week 3 days. And he's already sharp, so we just sort of cut down a little bit and don't let him get too sharp at the minute. But I say he's cracking hard. He's boxing good.
Yeah.
He's avoiding shots, and you know, England's a good fighter, but I think Jamel can get him out of her within 3 rounds. Without trying to get him out. I really believe that England's going to make mistakes and try, especially in his home country, and leave himself wide open for the shots that we've been working on.
Yeah, we were just watching a little bit of you guys training in the ring on Instagram. Looked like a lot of inside work, a lot of body work, you know, kind of working that inside, like it's kind of thing where I think as you expect him to try to come forward, because obviously he's at home and being aggressive, you know, a little bit of those uppercuts and kind of moving inside there. Yeah.
Yeah, we're doing that, and Jamel posts little short videos of stuff. He doesn't put everything out there. He's not going to post. I say you don't put the whole video out. Never do that. So England's going to watch that, but we want them to watch these things. You know, we're putting little teasers out for them to watch. We want them to watch these things.
Look at the.
If he thinks that's what's going to happen, it's going to be the opposite. Believe me. And we're ready for that. So it's good to put little teasers like that out there because they're going to study that. It's not going to be any use. Believe me.
Yeah.
Little psychological warfare, the battle outside of the ropes.
Yeah, well, it's like back in the old days, you did videos on VHS tapes and you kept them for your own knowledge. But nowadays, it's all social media, so you can use social media to work for you as well. You know what I mean? By showing certain things, and if they're thinking we're giving things away, we're not.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's interesting to me too. Obviously, with the way obviously with the social media and all this stuff, and then you know the big ring walks and all of this stuff. You know, this one being on the road, this one being like on his home turf there in Australia. How is that? I would say, how is it different being a little bit on enemy territory, which I'm sure you experienced quite a bit fighting here in the States. And so what's that like? What that adjustment like? And then a little bit about obviously being in Australia and just the time difference.
It's tough. The time difference is tough. I think they're like, we won 1 hour ahead last night. So I think there's about 17 and a half hours or something ridiculous.
Wow.
But you know, when they say I fought all around the world as an amateur, fought in America, but there's always Irish people turn up somewhere. And I remember in 1991 I fought in Australia in the World Championships, and my first fight was against an Australian, and I beat him because most of the fans were all Irish. So Jamel, believe me, no, Jamel is going to get some support because my former brother-in-law moved to Adelaide. He lives about 45 minutes from the arena.
Nice.
And he's from Belfast originally. I told him the other week, you got to get a bunch of the fans out there supporting Jamel. And he said, we'll do that. So I'm expecting a good fan base of Irish people singing and drinking and cheering Jamel Herring on.
Hey, singing and drinking, it's what the Irish do best, right?
And if you get about 10 Irish guys singing, you'll hear them over everybody.
That is for sure.
Now, when do y'all arrive, and what kind of adjustment to training do you do as far as fight week, or maybe 10 days out, or anything like that?
Well, I think we're leaving about 8 days before. By the time you get there, it's like 2 days are gone almost because of the time difference.
Yeah, no kidding.
But jet lag usually will
our
hit you.
guest is hopping on, by the way, in just a second.
Oh, good.
No, it's not. But no, jet lag was usually pitching the way back, really bad. Because when I fought in the World Amateurs in '91, we were there 2 days before the competition, and I fought 3 times that week. So it doesn't really affect you. It's all a mental thing, and as long as you get there and get the rest right away, first few days you're okay. And just if you're tired, sleep. If you're hungry, eat, and train the right times. Because if it's just a week, then you don't have to adjust too much.
I've always heard
hydrate and rehydrate.
Yeah, and I've always heard that it's when you do big travel like that, it's about an hour per time zone that you need to recover, like that you need to, that it takes you to fully adjust. So obviously this being 17 hours difference, it's going to take you the better part of a full day to kind of really get your system right, maybe even a couple of days.
Yeah, well, I've always, maybe it's just me, but I always think every time I fly to Ireland or something, as soon as I get off the flight, I go for a run. I feel like garbage, but halfway around the run, I start to feel like I'm shaking something out of my body, and then I just go to bed. Then I wake up the right next day at their time zone. I'm usually perfect, but then 5 or 6 days, I'm a sharp again. So, so if you do things right, you can do that, and say you rehydrate as well, because you're dehydrated on the flight. But I don't think it's going to affect us on the way over. I think on the way back, which is okay because you're coming home.
Right. Yeah.
You can sleep as much as you want. It's a long journey over. It's a long flight, of course, 16 hours or something.
So
do you have one of those fancy jets where you get the beds and everything and get to crash up for a little bit? Or
where's Jamel? Where are you? Jamel, we getting to bed here? Where are you? Where is he? No. Coach class like this.
Yeah, exactly.
When you fly business class, you never want to go back again.
Boy, that's the truth. Trust me, I've been spoiled.
Yeah, look at the Michael Buffer pictures he posts on Twitter with his luxury jet, and he's got his little cocoon and everything. I'm like, man, that must be living well.
He's Michael Buffer, and he's served his time. You know what I mean? He's put his time into boxing for years and years.
Yeah, I used to have more money than I did, and I got a little used to that too. And man, you get on that Southwest flight, it's a whole lot different, man. It's a whole lot different.
Once you're used to it, it's hard to go back.
Oh yeah, well, you live that big life, man. That's they said that's the adjustment, and but it's Jamel. He's a Marine, man. He's used to sitting on a plane probably 24 hours flying to all over the place.
Exactly.
In a military plane, so I'm sure anything would be good. Speak of the devil, he's going to be joining us here in just a second. So, last question I had for you, which I guess I'm probably going to transition right over to him as well, is the last time out it was such a pretty quick fight, and obviously you want to turn that around and get more action. Are you looking? I mean, obviously you're never looking to, as you say, get hit, but are you looking for a little bit more work in this fight, or is this something that, hey, you can dispatch him, and you move on?
No, the last guy Mulaney fought, the kid was, I said they were expecting to win, but the way Jamel was working in the gym, and I said to him, I think you can get him out of there in 2 rounds at least. And there was a kid called Owen here, and he said, I'd pick him first round. And he was right. But I think this fight, it could go long. If it goes long, it's fine because Jamel's in great shape. But I really believe when he cracks him, especially with a maybe a body shot or a clean uppercut, he's gonna knock him out. I really do, because you see in the mitts, I'm feeling him. Believe me, I'm feeling him.
Absolutely.
And he's putting him in precise. And when he gets behind that jab, his jab's sensational. He's got a great jab, and the jab keeps everybody at bay. They try to get in, and you bang, 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 and he does that. And I say I'm expecting, if he has to go 12 rounds, fine, but I really believe he'll get him out of there within 3.
Now don't give him a big head. He's on the line here. Let's talk to Jamel Semper Fi Herring.
He's too
He is humble.
What's up, Jamel? How are you, man?
Hey, everything's going good. My apologies, guys.
Hey, man, you're good. You were watching the end of the Knicks game.
With all
it's
the
fine.
time changes, and I forgot. And then, I'm used to my New York time anyway, but yeah.
No, hey, it's okay. I was watching the Knicks game, too, before we got on. It's fine. It's fine.
We were talking about your transition to going to Australia and the 17-hour time difference. You may have missed that part of the conversation, but that was pretty fascinating.
No, to me, it's nothing. It's nothing to me.
You're a pro.
I told Wayne before, like I still want to go to I still want to fight in the UK. You know, I did Dubai already, as you guys know. I want to go to Ireland as well. Like right now I'm just doing my world tour, so I'm mentally prepared to zigzag throughout the globe either way. But it's another fight. As long as I get the proper rest and we get the proper game plan going, I'll be fine no matter where the fight is at.
We talked a little bit about the game plan against English, and he's 15-3, never been knocked out. I found a few fights on the YouTube, didn't really get to do in-depth dive on him, but it doesn't look like he can fight off his back foot. But if you're allowed to, what is your scouting report outside of blasting him out early?
Going to that, I called you guys some of the last fight, and Wayne and them, they did call it, and I was with you guys. I was thinking like, nah, Wayne, it's been a while since I've been in the ring. Like, I probably need to knock some ring rust off. But I was surprised how fast, that one ended, under 3 minutes. But again, for me, my scouting, like, because I sit down, I talk to Wayne about everything, especially with not just with England, but everybody around the division. We just sit there and dissect everyone. But in terms of Jackson England, again, he could be very active, like Wayne said. Like me and Wayne both pointed out, the very first thing we pointed out when he first came into the radar, I was like, okay, he's gonna be busy. But then we started looking at, we not only looked at his weaknesses, but his strengths, and like activity is one of them. If you sit there too long, like if he gets you planted on the ropes, they try to plant that a left hook to the body. And Wayne also pointed that out as well. He's a bit of a switch hitter, but he's not like the typical switch hitters like the Jerron Bruce Ennis's or the Terrence Crawfords. It's like more of he switches for like temporary to maybe get up for a lead left hook or something like that, or try to throw you off your game. So we look at all those things, but again, like you guys point out, he's not. I don't think he's much of a can fight off the back foot, especially when you press him. He goes into more of defense mode. If you overexert yourself though, and too much head hunting, he looks for the counter. So these are all things that we look at, like especially when he fought Liam Wilson, who I'm very familiar with. I know Liam Wilson, another Australian fighter. His last fight, to be exact. Mm-hmm. Liam Wilson did great to the body, but he did a lot of times head hunting, which caused a lot of clinching. England got head clashes, which caused a couple of cuts in that fight. So these are things that we look at that we try to prevent from doing and or capitalize on.
Yeah, and we were watching some of your Instagram stuff you're posting up there. And of course, Wayne's saying all of it's just subterfuge, man. They're just trying to set this guy up, let him try to scout you from the Instagram. But it did look like you were doing a lot of body work, a lot of uppercuts, like trying to get inside on this guy, and as you say, make him back up a little bit. Of course,
And again,
go ahead.
I mean, that like you said, like you just pointed out with Wayne, just Wayne. He always that's the crazy thing about it. That's just a snippet because Wayne always tells me don't post, too much. All those things, those actually just snippets. Because we actually talk a lot throughout hitting pads. But if you notice in the clips, you never really see us talking. You just see us moving and working. But we actually talk. There's certain things that he'll tell me what the reason, why we're doing it, and what we're doing it for, and how to set it up. So for the most part, we do a lot. We actually do a lot of talking. It's more of a conversation during mid work, and even on when I'm hitting the bag, I'm actually implementing a lot of things, especially for defense. I think that's my biggest aspect because once you have your defense locked down and your distance and your space, it makes it a lot easier to get close to your opponent to really let your hands go and capitalize on a lot of things rather than trying to fight from the outside and fight your way in.
Yeah, and being a Marine, you're used to fighting on enemy shores, and so going in this guy's house, what's it like? A little bit different, Obviously, you've did some fights in New York, and having the home crowd behind you, but being on the road, being the visitor kind of thing, does your mindset change? Does your Does the ring walk change? Does anything like that change for you?
No, not really. Not really. And I guess it's because, again, like you said, with the whole Marine Corps aspect, and even when I was in the amateurs, I traveled a lot with the USA team. So it's not a big deal to me. Like, again, speaking with my promoter, Lou DeBella, I could afford in the States, but it's one of those things where, home isn't going anywhere. And it's like been there and done that. So let's do something different. Let's do something new. But the promoter over there has been really he's been really generous. Treating, again, we're the A side going into this fight, so it's not like it's not so much like it's a biased thing over there. It's like, we're still the A side, but for me, I don't care if I'm the A side, B side. I always say it's the me side. So I got to go out there and just be me, and listen to Wayne, follow the game plan down to a T, and just go out there and get the win. Because for me, this is a big fight, because this fight will open up getting back on that world title scene, without a doubt. We got a WBO, the WBO global title, which I'm already ranked by the WBO. I think I'm number 9 in the world by the WBO, and the WBC, I'm ranked at number 15, which makes me eligible to fight for their title as well. So
there you go.
Again, a win here shoots me up the rankings where I can get definitely a shot at one of these world titles again.
Heck yeah! All right, so let's have a little interaction between you guys then. So Jamel, what's the best thing that you've learned from Wayne, and what's the most annoying thing that Wayne does for as a trainer?
The best thing I learned from Wayne is
the crack's good.
Yeah.
Is the defense. Like I tell you guys know, as a Marine, I've always been all offense. I had basic defense, but it wasn't where I feel a lot more comfortable. If you look at my last fight, even though it was only one round, I didn't waste any punches. I didn't have to use my offense as my defense. I was more confident on where my hand placement was at, and it made me it was a lot easier to get on the inside where I didn't waste any punches against Molina. And we see how that fight ended. Every shot that basically threw, every shot basically counted, and especially the ones that put him down, they made a huge impact. Where now I can fight not only from long range, but from medium range to inside. Even though it wasn't a lot of inside, but the medium range game, especially with my height and reach, definitely played a huge part in terms of getting full leverage on the power. So again, defense and knowing where my feet are at in the ring is one thing that I learned from Wayne. Now, the one thing that I do get annoyed for,
there we go.
Every time I try to get my groove, Wayne always reminds me to keep this left hand up, the left hand up. If I have it here, it's not good enough. It has to be here.
Got to be up.
It has to be here.
It has to be the phone. Yeah, the phone has to be on there. So like, because again, defense. Like one thing's here, you can catch right hands from here. You can catch shots in the middle. Or you can catch. It's everything. You can actually catch one hand. So I get that, but again, sometimes I wanna bait my opponent in to make it to throw that right hand. But Wayne won't allow it. He does not. He won't allow it. So it's always keep your hand up. Oh. I can keep my right hand wherever I want to, but I have to keep my left hand up no matter what.
Yep, absolutely. Well, I think Ngannou should have learned that this week. Wayne should have been in there talking to him about that. All right, Wayne. Same question for Jamel. What's the thing that you see in him that is his absolute superpower, and what's the thing that you have to absolutely ride him the most about?
Well, the superpower is his work ethic is unbelievable. He's this type of I'm going to call him a kid compared to me, who actually loves to keep working and keep learning and keep doing everything, and he keeps doing that. I think the worst thing for me is, if I say to him, that's enough rounds today, he wants to do more.
Hey.
Like, he already did 6. I want to do another 2 rounds of sparring. I always give in to him. I must say, I always give in to him. I've did 8 rounds. Let me do another 2. I'm like, oh, okay. So he knows what he did.
This is what I noticed, though. I noticed this is what he does, though, now. I know this is what he does. This is what it's funny. Because I was telling somebody the other day, I said, Wayne's slick. I said, Wayne, when I ask for more rounds of sparring, he jumps in the ring and he'll grab my sparring partner's headgear and he'll take it off. Once he does that, I'm like, okay, I can't.
All right, that's it. We're done.
He does it every time now.
But the other day, he did that the other day, and he ended up getting back in again.
he's like he don't need headgear. It's fine.
He wanted to work also.
But nobody wanted to spar you the other day. So
it was funny. Yeah, the other day, like we're not gonna put anybody out there, but that's true. Like we was in the gym and we were just we was sitting around, and I was just sitting there hanging out on the ropes, like looking around, like and say, hey, anybody want to get any extra rounds in? And then, oh no, we watch you, champ. We know how you are, champ. We're fine. So, my sparring partner that also trained under the ring, Tomer Benny, great guy, great kid from Israel. He has an amazing story as well, especially everything going on in the world. But
yeah,
he started to get that same work ethic where he likes to work a lot as well, especially learns from Wayne. He learned a lot from the time I met him from my last camp to now. He's definitely improved a lot as well, and a nice kid. He's 19 years old, with a bright future ahead of him.
Man, that's awesome.
I love the chemistry between you two. I could listen to you all talk for hours.
As we say in Ireland, the crack's good, so we're having good crack. So Jamel knows what that is.
As we say in the U.S., though, if they say the crack is good, it's a totally different aspect. Though. We don't want that. That's what we had to learn the barriers in terms of language and things of that nature.
Right.
It just means we're having fun, guys. We're having fun.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say, for Jamel grew up in New York. He knows how it is.
Exactly. I was born in the epidemic. Like
I was gonna say, yeah.
I caught on that quickly when I came here.
Oh man!
I looked at him like, what do you mean by that?
We're having fun. The crack's good.
Well, Jamel, you'll be happy to know Wayne told us he's got a bunch of drunk Irishmen ready to show up in Australia to cheer you on. So that's going to be great. And
oh yeah,
man, man, we are really looking forward to this fight. Looking forward to what's coming next. Oh, I did want to ask you. So obviously, the last fight happened so quickly. Pretty quick turnaround for you here, and just a couple months. What are you thinking it's next? What kind of time frame are you thinking next? And does how this fight go affect what that time frame might be?
Absolutely. It's one of the things. Of course, if you get a guy out there early, there's always a chance to get a quick turnaround. But if you get to go the distance, maybe get injured or a cut, that takes a while. But my goal this year was always to fight a minimum of 3 times. I think boxing needs that. You got guys you probably see once, maybe twice a year. I don't want to do that. I think activity keeps you flowing, keeps you going.
Yes, sir.
So I wanted to basically get back in as soon as possible. Hopefully, April we fight April. I'm looking at maybe the summertime, of course, and again in between winter and fall time frames before the year ends.
Winter in Belfast.
Yeah, wherever they want to fight at, I'm going there. So again, definitely want to stay busy. Definitely want to keep staying in the eyes of the public. Like you guys pointed out, going to Australia, that's obviously another fan base to win over.
Yeah,
same way that I did when I fought the great Carl Frampton. I won a lot of his fans as well over. So again, this is one of the things where I take the title being a world champion seriously. World champion basically fights all over the world, no matter where the fight is at. And it's funny and it's ironic. I mean, Wayne won his first world title facing a Japanese fighter, but he did it in Japan. But I fought a Japanese fighter in the States as well. So there's a lot of, and we also believe in the same thing, like because he comes from that era where guys got on planes to fight wherever they were called for and they needed to. So again, I want to bring that back, and you kind of seeing that now. We kind of seeing that now also. With fighters going to Saudi and Arabia and other places as well. But again, I want to go in places that it's not just about just for the lucrative side, but just to get out there and may just win people over more and more around the globe.
Hey, Lou would have you fighting in the streets of New York if he could. You know how Lou is. Yeah. He'll put you anywhere, anytime. So, and obviously, shout out to the great Lou DiBella for all this as well. And man, we're really looking forward to a great card there, April 3rd. On Australia, I have no idea what time of day that would be happening here, but
I'm with you right now.
I think it's 17 hours. I think so. Something crazy at the minute.
Yeah, 7 in the
Right
morning.
now, in Adelaide, it's 1:10 p.m.
Oh, wow.
So it's
Well,
tomorrow afternoon. It's already tomorrow afternoon.
yeah, I was going to say, I was watching the Ngannou fight, driving around in my UPS truck yesterday afternoon. Had that on, and of course that didn't last real long, but it was long enough, I suppose. But yeah, but whenever it's on, man, we know Jamel's going to bring it. We know Wayne's got him trained up, and man, we are really looking forward to for that for you guys. Any final thoughts?
I was going to ask, what platform is the show going to be shown on?
The great
Appleizer.
Lou DeBell's actually working on that. We know we're definitely going to get something for the States, of course. Could be DAZN again. Could be YouTube. I have no idea as of now. I'll have to check with him again, but I know they're working with that. But again, the sooner I get it, the sooner you guys will know about it, and hopefully everyone else tuning in.
Yeah,
will get
please
the same
do that
as well.
And oh, by the way, we're working on our own little streaming platform that we should have pretty soon. So the 24 Media and Abundant TV. So we'll contact Lou. We'll see if we can't get something going there pretty soon as well.
Okay.
So
great.
So hey, we all go where we got to go, right? Do what we got to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, absolutely. But again, I know it's like speaking with Lou, like when the fight was announced, he told me after this one we'll be right there for the back in the world title picture. So that's what keeps me motivated. I'm excited about that. I know because of that I push Wayne's buttons at times, like you mentioned, like he'll be like, "Oh, we're done." But no, we could do three more rounds or whatever, whether it's pad work or with sparring. I'm just motivated. I'm hungry. But again, it's probably. I hope it's one of those things where I put all the hard work in, and then the fights even a lot it ends earlier than I expected again. So, but that's the whole point. That's the whole point of you putting all the hard work in back at home to make the fight a lot easier. So, if it like I always say, fighters, we don't get paid overtime. So if it ends early, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. I'm back to the state, and I'm back to the States with you guys.
Yeah, there you go. You're on that plane quicker. You get away from all them giant spiders they got in Australia and stuff. So yeah. That's right. Wayne, your final thoughts on this fight?
Jamel's ready to go. I really believe he's going to put on a great performance and get his hand raised, and then by the end of the year he'll be fighting for the World Championship.
Oh man, that is so exciting! I'm looking forward to that. And man, Jamel, nothing but safe travels. Go out there and knock them out quick. Get on back home, and get back to New York City. Wayne, as always, enjoy your St. Patty's Day.
Thank you, guys.
Hey, thank you guys so very much.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, there they go. We'll let them step aside here for just a moment, and Mr. Boyd and I will catch up a little bit on the news from the boxing world here. As, Darren, it's just the two of us. We can make it if we try.
Just the two of us.
Thank you.
You read my mind.
Yep. That's. You think we've been doing this a little while, buddy? You think we've been doing this a little while? So
over a decade. Hey, marriages don't last as long as you and I have been together.
Yeah, and but they're about as physical, so it works out. All right, buddy. Well, let's talk a little bit about the news of the week. Obviously, we had some big-time news, sort of, and the Jake Paul, Mike Tyson live on Netflix here in our backyard at the Cowboys Stadium in Arlington. I'm sure they're going to try to sell that thing out as best they can.
80,000 they're expected.
We've heard a lot of weird things about the rules. Now, nothing's official yet, but and I will say a lot of it came from Ryan Garcia, so take that for what it's worth.
Discount everything you heard.
Exactly. I do think there is going to be some because if you just took it, even Mike at 57, I think would just destroy Jake Paul if it's a fair fight, but it won't be.
And there's no way the Texas Commission licensed this to be a sanctioned boxing match at age 57 for Tyson. It's going to be an exhibition. So some of those internet rumors that you're hearing and I've read could come into fruition, but it's still an event. And at first when I saw it, I was like, no, I don't want to go. And then I started reading into it, and I'm like, dang right, I want to go now. We're trying to get our media credentials.
100%, man. We'll definitely be
We'll
there.
go for free.
Yeah, we'll definitely be there as best we can. We'll bring all of our local boxing buddies, the great Chris Arnold, the great Mark Elfenbein. Well, man, we'll get all those
By the
guys
way,
in
to the
there.
fans out there, there's no tickets on sale yet. So if you're buying them from brokers, those are fake.
Yeah,
So that's
those
my
are.
public service announcement.
That's good. That's good to know. So, all right, let's go from the ridiculous to the sublime as we talk a little bit about Anthony Joshua and Francis Ngannou and me stupidly betting money on a UFC fighter to fight a boxer. Yeah, that was.
Well, you got plus 230, didn't you?
Yeah, no, I mean, the odds weren't that long. Like, I mean,
No.
it was one of those things where you kind of look at it and go, I mean, maybe, but woof. That was, as Wayne said to us before, I think it was before the show started, like, look, Ngannou came forward throwing that standard just 1-2, looking like Rock'em Sock'em Robots, and Joshua absolutely destroyed him with an overhand right that buckled his knees and knocked him clean unconscious. Man.
That was KO of the year by far.
That was, and good for Joshua because, he'd had a couple of real lackadaisical starts and it was nice to see him go out there and absolutely, that's what it's supposed to look like when a boxer fights a UFC guy. That's what you saw. That's what you've seen every other time. This is why we don't cover UFC. Just saying.
Amen.
All right.
That's a good thing for Joshua, too, is as you stated, he needed a rebound, a highlight knockout. I mean, people are still talking about it. I know he's won 4 fights in a row, but he lost 2 to Usyk and then somehow got knocked out by Ruiz earlier.
Yeah.
He needed that to get the career jump started, and I'm sure that $50 million payday was very nice too.
Yeah, that doesn't hurt. I mean, the Saudis, they like to throw the money around. Now, reports
By
are
the
that,
way, if the Excellency wants to sponsor our boxing show, I'll go to Saudi Arabia to do it.
you'll be wearing your
I'm not too proud to beg.
your Fly Emirates shirt, and yeah,
Yes, absolutely.
Fine, I'm good with that too. So,
I
apparently,
tell my daughter, if anyone writes enough zeros on the check, I'll do whatever you tell me to do.
boy, isn't that the truth? We are cheap and available.
Yes, we are.
So it looks like the Joshua team. It looks like they're trying to slow walk him. And good for them. I think they're saying the next fight that they want Hrgovic. They want to fight Philippe Hrgovic. They're not trying to jump back into the championship rounds. They're trying to kind of come up through contender status again. And like I said, I think that's exactly what he needs to do. I think that's fantastic.
And Fury and Usyk is obligated for a rematch, so it's going to be a while before we get to see the winner of that take on Joshua again, too. As Jamel said, the more activity, that's what I like about Joshua. He's fighting 3-4 times a year versus 1 time a year. So I like as you saw also with Joseph Parker, who fights all the time. He overcame 2 knockdowns and 1 against Zhang. And it's all about the activity. You just can't stay stagnant.
Speaking of Usyk Fury, since you mentioned it, just pulled up our good friends at Bovada. And what do you think the odds are on that fight right now, Fury Usyk? Scheduled for May 18th, by the way.
I'm going to say the betting public will go Fury minus 150.
Boy, you were
I haven't seen the odds.
so close, sir. Fury is a minus 120 currently on Bovada. Usyk is dead even. Even money. Woo! That's fun. That's going to be, like I said, I mean, I'll take Usyk, but then again, I just tried to take Ngannou because I thought it was worth it, so what do I know? I mean, I just host a boxing show.
Well, that's the thing, too, is all the boxing pundits are like, well, look how Fury did against Ngannou, and he looked like garbage, and, Usyk's going to take him to school, but you never know in the heavyweight division. One punch changes everything.
Boy, that is the absolute truth. All right, well, we got another fight announced. As the last time we talked, we were trying to figure out who the heck Canelo's going to fight on May 4th, and we have our answer. Mugina. Jaime Mugina.
Does this motivate you at all?
Not
to shell out any pay-per-view money?
But, I mean, it's at least a guy. Like, it's not a – I mean, look.
He'll come forward.
Exactly. I mean, he's a Mexican fighter. We've talked about this before. Like, we know what that means, and that has a standard of fighting, and that's what it's going to be. He's going to come forward. He's going to take shots, and if he can hold up long enough, I mean, those guys are tough as nails, man. And I hope it's fun. I hope it at least makes it worthwhile.
And Canelo getting $35 million's a good payday for him. I believe it's a one-fight deal with the PBC, and then he's smart like Mayweather. He keeps his options open, so we'll see what the future holds because everybody wants him to fight David Benavidez, and who knows.
Yep, exactly.
Hopefully it's not another Charlo, the younger Charlo, or I think they're twins. Who cares? They both can't hang with Canelo.
Either way. So, I mean, do we think that Haney Garcia is going to go down? Will it actually happen by April 20th? I mean,
April 20th. I mean,
we got to get a month. We got to get a whole month.
Of rumors about Garcia's well-documented outside of the ring issues and him being on social media talking about stuff we won't repeat on the air.
Boy, that's for sure.
I just scratched my head. Yeah, and some of our friends like Lou and Jamel are really worried about his mental health. I think
I can't
going into that fight. It could be ugly early.
Have to be
if he makes it there.
My goodness. I did see, and where did I see it? Now I can't find it. But there was an announcement of a backup fighter in case Ryan Garcia, can't quite get his head right to get there, and I cannot find it now. But there is another fighter in the wings.
Between now and April 20th.
Yeah, there is another fighter in the wings. So let's see. We got Big Baby coming up. Big Baby's got a nice fight coming up April 13th.
If he stays out of jail.
Well, I mean, look.
There's another one that's
true
more
of all
legal
of us.
issues since the last time he fought.
That's true for all of us, isn't it? If we just stay out of jail, we'll be fine.
Yeah. If you're not in rehab or jail, you got a chance to get in the ring.
Yeah, well, it is boxing after all. Dylan White coming back, making his final return after he's been gone for over a year.
I believe he had a PED suspension and got it reversed or something, but he's okay.
Yeah,
I will not be interested in that.
And Kambosos saying he's going to upset Lomachenko. Now, the betting odds don't say that, but does Kambosos have a shot?
Give us the odds, sir.
Oh gosh, those odds are long to quite long. The last time I checked, it is Lomachenko is a minus 750 on your money line. Kambosos is a plus 450. So, yeah, them some odds. Let's see. You mentioned Joseph Parker earlier, and that's what I was saying this to them. Ngannou Wilder for a Fury Usyk undercard. Know about that. That seems curious.
Yeah. I think Wilder's washed, but he's got that right hand. If he lands, all right, we'll see what happens. But that doesn't fire me up at all.
So, yeah, I mean, that's the thing with Ngannou was such a great story, and it was nice to see him go in there and kind of shock Fury and whatnot. But man, you got to worry about him taking shots like that. My goodness. You can't.
Yeah, you get chin checked like that, your chin may never recover after that shot.
Well, I mean, we've seen that out of Wilder. I mean, Wilder's taken some shots, but like you said, maybe he's not the same. So, all right, what else you got, my friend?
Well, before we get out of here, we got to hype up our show next Sunday. We got our official prospect of the show, Giovanni Marquez. Got a fight coming up March 29th. We haven't talked to him in a while, so it'll be nice to catch up with him. He's got a new merch line out. I think you're buying some shirts for the interview. And he's, as we talked last time, he knows he's changed his style a little bit to be a little more action-packed, and he's got to make a statement every night out. So I'm looking forward to that interview.
Man, that's going to be a blast. Like you said, love the kid. Love that he's our official prospect coming up through the ranks. And, like you said, we've got another – we just talked about it. We've had a pretty action-packed month. We've got another action-packed month ahead between now and the middle of May. It's a great time, and what's great about this is man, it's a really great time in the sports calendar. You know, the NFL's gone. Baseball's just kind of getting started. Nobody's paying attention. The NBA and hockey are trying to get themselves to the playoffs. And, man, this is a great time for boxing to really jump in there and grab on. And, like I said, we definitely need to reach out to Lou soon and see if we can't partner up with him on some of his fights and you know, some of the stuff that's going on. Did you see that our official female fighter was fighting some underground boxing in Dallas the other night? I almost called you to go.
Hey,
Yes.
I did not see that. I thought she was judging. I didn't know if she actually fought or not.
I think she got in the ring. I thought I saw her in there chopping it up a little bit. But, you know, hey, the Slim Goody on Instagram is where you will find her as she's...
And just a reminder to all boxers that we interview, anyone that we've ever gotten on the show has never lost after interviewing with us. So keep that in mind when I reach out for an interview request.
The real
You're
Slim
guaranteed
Goody.
to win.
Yes, the real Slim Goody with underscores in between each word. As, looks fun. Yeah, no, it looks like she was in there chopping it up a little bit. So, you know, a little underground fighting there on March 8th. That was fun. You know, nothing wrong with that, right?
Make that money.
Hey, that's what we're all trying to do in this world, right?
Amen.
All right, final thoughts. Man, Jamel's going to destroy that kid.
Oh, yeah.
He's gonna fly out. What will be longer, the flight or the time he's gonna spend in Australia, or the flight to and from?
The flight. Oh gosh, yeah, that flight sounds terrible, especially in coach.
Yeah, I don't think they'll be in coach, and I think they've come up in the world a little bit on that. So
yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, I hope so too. So
this is why I don't travel internationally.
Well, you know,
I'm still getting used to spring forward today. I was like, oh no, I can't imagine 17 hours.
All right, well, I guess with that bombshell, I think we're done. As man, what a fun time talking with those two guys, and got another big show next week.
Oh, that was great. I'm excited that we got the trainer and the fighter on at the same time. We've never been able to do that before.
Yeah, I was
so
gonna
that
say
was fun.
it's our first time having both. Having two guests at one time. This is the first time we've gone 2-on-2, Darren. What are we going to do about that? Hey.
They both knock us out within 30 seconds.
Boy, isn't that the truth. All right. Well, it is time for Darren to get knocked out and go to bed. So.
That's true. It is past my bedtime. I won't be watching Oscars.
For the great Wayne Pocket Rocket McCullough, for Jamel Simplify Herring, about to go to Australia and whoop some butt. And for Darren Boyd, my name is Jeff Bowers. Thank you so much. Be safe, be well, and have a great week.
Contact the show via Twitter @EatingLeatherPod